Food, glorious food. Now, I always find when we get onto the subject of, effort, of hard work, of transforming a life, anything along these lines, food is always the most hotly debated topic. It's the one that everybody has an opinion on. And in the years I've been doing this, and it's been more than a few, I always find that everyone has an opinion on food, on nutrition, on how it should be done. And everybody thinks that they know what to do. To the point where I've had arguments with people about nutrition. Like, they've come to me seeking my advice. How do I lose, the belly fat? How do I get into shape? How do I reveal the six pack? How do I look good naked? All the questions, and yet they want to argue with me about how to get it done. So it is one of those topics where overall there are 101 ways you can skin a cat. The actual question is, what is going to deliver the best and quickest results? And if we play outside of the realm of 126, if I was being honest, I would play a gentler game. I would say whatever you can stick to. Because most things will work to an extent. But as we've refined it and as I've gotten into 126, I actually think part of it needs to be a little bit harsh. Part of it needs to be that you just fucking commit to it. Because the compounding effects of actually going all in on your nutrition side, as well as everything else, obviously, is so much greater than if you just dabble. When you go perfectly, when you don't miss a day, when you absolutely nail it, the results are tremendously better and more, they appear rapidly and they stay longer. So that's kind of where I've ended up on this. And it's an interesting one for me in myself, because I've had this discussion a few times with people. And they're like, 126 seems over the top complicated. And I was like, actually, when you get into the weeds of it, it's about as basic as I can make it happen. I have made it as simple as humanly possible. And even if we just look on the side of exercise and health, I have made it as simple as humanly possible to deliver the best possible results. So when it comes to nutrition, I believe and teach animal-based. And I've seen it around a few other times, and it's been fascinating how more and more I have seen this style of eating. And it started off hyper fringe, and now it's becoming not mainstream. I don't think, true nutrition and health benefits and things like that will ever truly become mainstream because, well, let's be realistic. The majority of the population is addicted to the most readily available drug on the planet, food. So when it comes to those kinds of things, I think people are too addicted to actually break free from it. And that's part of why I also choose this method and prescribe it to people, because you need to break free of that addiction. And I use that terminology correctly. I firmly believe that most people are heavily addicted to food. That most people can't go a week without indulging in a cheat meal or cheat day. And I say that from the place of being there. To give you a bit of perspective on this, way back in the day when I was a young whippersnapper, and me and my best mate, we used to, with no real sense of longevity would go to the gym and absolutely annihilate the shit out of ourselves. Like, just beat ourselves into oblivion. Like, throwing up was not unheard of. And let me very heavily preface that with, don't recommend that. Not a good life choice, not good training methods, but, you know, when you're young and dumb, you do shit like that. Anyway, so 6 days a week, we would be perfect. You know, we'd eat perfectly within the nutrition guidelines that I'd set out. It would be so on point, like it'd be immaculate. And then come Sunday, me and him, he was my roommate at the time, we'd get up and we would just start eating. And we'd sit on the couch, and from dusk till dawn, we'd eat and play video games. And when you're young and dumb, it was fucking amazing. Like, my beautiful wife, she worked Sundays, so she'd go out to work, and she'd come back, and she'd leave with us on the couch, and she'd come back with us on the couch. And we would eat ridiculous amounts of things. Like, I'm just talking, we'd spend $100-$150 just on Sundays, junk food. It was wild. And it's not a healthy way to do it. The results were dappled down because of these choices. And it's not a good option. But you just keep feeding this addiction. And part of it was that, you know, we could abstain during the week because we knew that we were going to have this horrendous blowout come the weekend. And so we would just envision all the things that we were going to eat over the weekend. Anyway, so fast forward. Now what I recommend is animal-based, as I said. And when you go all in on it, I'm not going to lie, week 1 is all right, you're pretty G'd up, you're motivated, you're ready to go. Week 2, now you're still motivated, but you're starting to feel it a little bit. You're like, oh, I could really go, you know, some pizza, some wine, some ice cream, some, I don't know, whiskey, some Oreos, some Swedish fish, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm just listing off the things I fucking love. You know, you get to week 3 and it grinds on you a little bit because you can see it everywhere and you have these cravings and you just want it. You just need it. And these are the points where you realize that, maybe I am actually addicted to this shit. And then comes week 4 and it starts to subside a little bit. Come week 5, it subsides a bit more. And after that, it's not there anymore. Those deep addiction cravings will subside. They do take their time. They don't just disappear instantly. But once you get past it, you realize how heavily addicted you were. And you need to break that addiction. It's part of why it's also. There are no exceptions. There are no cheat meals. There are no days off. There is nothing. You are just doing this for 126 days. Because also, you need to. You need to break that cycle. You need to show yourself that you can do these things for this extended period of time. That you can follow through and that you can treat your body the way it is meant to be. And then on top of that, the results, if you have been heavily on the ultra-processed end of things, those results in the first 6 weeks are ungodly. Like, it is absolutely astonishing, the things that you'll achieve in that first 6 weeks of just doing this. And so what is animal-based? Just to keep it brief and simple. Meat, fruit, if you want to go vegetables, sweet potato. That's fucking it. Like, as you get more advanced, there are other options that we can add in, but I'm not even going to talk about them today because you got to get there. You got to at least survive the first 6 weeks and then we can talk about the other stuff. But it's going to be rough But the results on the other side are astronomical. If you want to talk about transforming your body in the quickest way possible, this is your answer. I can guarantee you that you will drop body fat like no tomorrow. Once you get past the addiction, your energy levels will go up. Your clarity of mind will be higher. You'll feel better. You'll sleep better. And if you can make sure you moderate the carbs, and in my experience, keep them away from bedtime, even better. Even fucking better. You'll get better results. You'll sleep better. Your productivity will go up. You'll feel better overall. And as I said, the body fat changes are huge. It's one of the few ones where I have found that, you can build muscle and strip off fat. I'm not talking huge amounts of muscle. Like, let's not get fucking wild here. But you can build muscle and strip away fat. In the comeback of 126 to greatness, I maintained my exact body weight and went down 15% body fat. So there are things like that you can do that progress you forward in that fashion. And this is what we're talking about with this. It's a whole different way of looking at eating. And you will gain mental toughness and mental fortitude from doing this, because it is difficult. It does take discipline and focus to teach yourself how to do these things. It takes discipline and focus to not give in when you go out, when you're out in other places, when you come home and it's been a long-ass day. You've got to make the right choices, but your body, your mind, your life, everything will thank you for it. People will start to pay attention. You'll notice those physical changes in you. And that's what we want to see. So that's why this is pretty much the only eating method that I teach now, because its results are so emphatic and so well proportioned and driven in that I have not found a better option than this. And the only other thing that you can add in that super turbocharges this is adding in fasting. And that adds a whole nother level of mental discipline, of fortitude, of focus, and then of fat loss results. Like, really dials it in another level for you. And that, what level of fasting, depends. It depends on where you're at. The longest I've ever done is 7 days, and it's shocking how good your mental clarity is after that. But that is a mental grind as well, to just break the habit of eating. Because most of you have never actually been hungry. Most people have never actually experienced true hunger in their life. What they're associating with hunger is actually boredom and habit. Because I know the hardest part for me, and I used to do 48-hour fastings and things like that, or 36 hours and stuff like that. It's always dinner. Dinner is the hardest moment every single time, because that's habit. You come home from work, you relax, and you go to sit down, and what do? You have dinner, you eat. And once you get past that habit, you realize that you aren't actually hungry within that you don't actually need the food. You're just so used to having it at that time that your body goes, excuse me, why the hell aren't we eating right this second? And so these are the methods that I teach. These are the things that I think will give you the most bang for your buck in all aspects of your life. It'll improve your cognitive function. It'll improve your physique. It'll improve your discipline. It'll improve your association with food, and realize how much of an addiction and a problem you have with it. And as I said, that's not judgment. That's coming from, I was the same, how much of a fucking problem I had with it. And you will get to a better place if you can ride it out. So if you decide to go down this path, I just ask, commit to at least 6 weeks. Do at least 6 weeks, and then see where you're at, and then reevaluate, because it's going to be hard. But if you can overcome that, you'll find something better on the other side. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that spoke to you. Now, if you found some wisdom in it, if you found some nuggets that you can take away, please like, comment, subscribe. Please help us grow this movement. send it to people who need to hear it. Next, if you are ready to take the next step, please click the link in my bio and join the Daily Greatness Mail and receive the top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. Lastly, if you are ready to go all in and burn the motherfucking boats and see who you can truly become, please send me a message directly. I'll throw you in the deep end. And until then, talk soon.